Some great news before the official NFL schedule release later tonight, Dirty Birds fans. Welcome into Falcons Today, presented by Prize Picks. You're hanging out with the guy Moose. Got a couple schedule leaks that I wanted to bring you because it is my duty, my responsibility to give you all Falcons news all the time, even when we know that some of those games have been pushed a little bit early. Today is one of those days that feels like Christmas to a lot of football fans, especially content creators, because we're all waiting with bated breath. It's like opening a present on Christmas morning. They even call it schedule release day. It feels like a holiday in the NFL, but buckle up, social media teams, according to Ian Rappaport. It's like the biggest non-news news that we have throughout the offseason, but it's a lot of fun. So if you're ready for the schedule release today, and of course, I'll make another video for you once the official one comes out, do me a favor and hit that sub button right freaking now. We need 176 subscribers before we hit 54,000. I want to prove to my bosses that we can get there before the end of May. So what are those leaked games, Moose, that you're talking about? So far, we've had 4 at the time of this recording. So if something else comes out in like 45 minutes, just know that at the time of this recording, 4 games have been leaked. Pittsburgh Steelers, Week 1 at Pittsburgh. We'll touch on that here in a second. Week 8 at Tampa. International game against the Bengals in Madrid. And then at Washington. So far, no home games announced yet. But we know the opponents, so we know who we're going to play. We just don't know when we're going to play them. I think it's interesting, though, that we start off at Pittsburgh because according to Bro Talk, who knows everything that there is to know about the Dirty Bird, shout out to him, one of my favorite Falcons content creators, the Falcons all-time are 0-7-1 when they play in Pittsburgh. So something to look forward to. Maybe the streak finally gets broken. But according to other NFL reporters, because this is the time where the word leaked gets thrown around a lot, they're going to see and hear, and you're going to see and hear a lot from other people. It should be noted that not everything is confirmed. This is, well, I can't point at it. It's super important to know that not everything is confirmed. But what he's hearing is Falcons-Packers Week 3, which, believe it or not, Producer JD, when we were predicting the schedule yesterday, I actually said Falcons feel like Packers Week 3. Bears-Packers Week 5, and then Packers against Bears on Christmas, which has actually already been confirmed. So very important bottom line for you guys to know. Nothing outside of the leaks is officially official. So while we do have some leaked games that have been confirmed, it is not officially made public yet. So there could be a couple of slight discrepancies, although most of the time, the ones that are leaked are officially correct. So if we just take a look one more time at the leaked games so far, before we get into that question there, Producer JD, if I were to give you my early predictions here, I kind of feel like this is the year that we win. I say we beat the Steelers. We always play well in Tampa. I'll say win that game. I've got a good feeling we win this overseas. And then depending on who's playing quarterback here, that could go either way. So in these 4, I'll say 3-1. I'll say 3-1 conservatively, right? So how many games do you think the Falcons will have in prime time? That's a fun question. I don't want to ask the question about what the record's going to be. That's a video for tomorrow and maybe the weekend. But how many primetime games do you think Atlanta has this year? Drop a comment down in the comment section. Now, before we continue on talking about the other part of this news, which is all about Bijan and some recent NFL contract news that just happened yesterday, I do have to remind you guys, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. I am playing Prize Picks every day now. I am not afraid to admit that because I love winning cash while watching sports. Baseball, basketball playoffs, hockey playoffs, golf. I can't believe it. I'm playing golf. So, I play golf all the time, but you get my point. If you download the Prize Picks app today, you are going to be met with a very easy way of playing. You pick your player, your more or less, and you watch your money multiply. Just like this lineup that I made right here. Actually, Producer JD and I have been comboing on some of these, and if you wanted to copy this one, he's got the same one. Use the new follow feature and copy this lineup in a single click. But it's more important that you download the app right now. use the code HMA that I've put in the comments and description of today's video to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that is code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that in the comments and description. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. How are we doing on time there, Producer JD? We at 5? Perfect. All right. So let's talk about the second bit of news. Now, you could look at this as great news, or you could look at this as expensive news. The Dolphins and Devon Achane have agreed to a 4-year, $68 million extension, which is $17 million a year. Now, that doesn't mean anything for the Atlanta Falcons, except for the fact that they themselves have to pay their star running back, and no disrespect to Devon Achane. He is a top 6 back in the NFL. I know Ian Cunningham saw that yesterday. I know he's doing the math in his head, and I know he's already getting on the phone with Bijan's agent saying, how can we get a deal done so it saves us some money? Because Devon Achane, while I'll admit, is an excellent player. He is phenomenal, a supreme running back talent. He wasn't as good as Bijan. He's not as good as Bijan. Last year was perhaps one of his best. 1,350 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns, 488 receiving yards. He averaged 7.3 yards a catch. Devon Achane's a hell of a player. There's no doubt. But is he worth now the 3rd highest paid running back in the league, only behind Christian McCaffrey? Maybe. Maybe not. But here's what I know. If you slide him in to number 3 after the Breece Hall contract extension as well, Bijan looks at that and goes, well, I'm better than both of them, so I'm going to be getting top 2 money, and I'll probably be getting top money, like number 1, because Bijan is the best running back in the NFL. And you can't convince me. Had to sport my Atlanta Falcons gear today for the schedule release, but my point remains. Bijan is one of one in the NFL. He is the closest thing to Christian McCaffrey, and I think as a pure runner, he's better. Look at last year's numbers. 1,478 rushing yards, 79 catches, 820 receiving yards, and 11 total touchdowns. And I personally think if they would have used him more in the red zone, they used Algier a lot. If they would have used Bijan more in the red zone, he could have scored 15 times last season. And as a wide receiver, he led all of the NFL, including wide receivers, in most yards caught in the flat. So every specific route that he ran out in the flat and every ball he caught, he led the league in receiving yards. He was also listed as the 3rd most efficient running back. Now, remember, this doesn't mean the best. It just means most efficient. Efficiency numbers come into play like value to the team, how good your offensive line is, how good your passing game. There's a lot of different metrics that go into efficiency metrics for a running back. But Bijan was voted the number 3 most efficient running back in the league last year. And he is one of the shiftiest, strongest, fastest, and most versatile backs I have ever seen. Personally, watching the game of football, which I have now for 20 years, over 20 years, if I am going back all the way to, when did I really start watching? 2003, 2004. So, yeah, it's been 22, 23 years. Last year, Bijan had the 3rd most yards after contact behind Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor, who have both quite a bit of size on Bijan. But Bijan's got he's got the whole package, everything. He's got speed, fluidity, shiftiness. I mean, it's just everything you want from a running back, Bijan has. And he forced the most missed tackles last year on receptions, not just as a running back, on receptions. He caught the ball 76 times, or 70, I think it was 79, actually. So that number might be a little off. But out of all of his receptions, he forced 26 missed tackles. So Bijan is going to get paid, my friends. It's just a matter of how early are you going to pay him, and can you get a team-friendly discount? And a team-friendly discount at this point is anything under $20 million. This is how Ian Cunningham and Brad Holmes, the GM of the Detroit Lions, are looking at that last contract that they saw yesterday, that Stephen A. Smith meme where it's like, oh, my Lord. Yeah, Bijan and Jameer are going to get paid. Who gets paid first? It's probably a game of chicken at this point. But I think I know that the price tag is going to start at about $20 million. I can pretty much bet on it. And honestly, $20 million a year would kind of be a bargain. It kind of would. Bijan's probably going to start it at 20. He'll probably settle at about $22 or $23 million a year. Don't be surprised. And he's worth every penny. Every single penny. All right, that's all I got for you on today's episode. Thank you guys so much. Remember, keep your eye on what we've got going on right now. We will have a schedule video released for you at some point later on today. So make sure your notifications are on, you are subscribed to the channel, and that you hit that thumbs up icon. As always, rise up and be cool.